Welcome back to the vlog and welcome back to another great day here in Papua New Guinea. My name is Ryan. I've been wanting to take you guys out to this place for quite a while now called Ibai. So let's go ahead and get started and get on our way out there. Right, ignitor's on, fuel pump on, low start. Once our NG's up and going, we'll flip our fuel on and introduce our fuel. Watch my oil pressure just continue to come on up into the green. My NG is coming up over 35 now. So I watch my ITT as it's coming up and just watching how fast that little white needle is coming up to see if it's going to look like it's going to go into the yellow or not, but it didn't. Right, generator is on. Lamps come back down, alternator, our V2. My flaps set up and our auxiliary bus. Yeah, Ibai is just 13 minutes out over top of those mountains over there, so it's a really short flight, but it's a really cool runway. It's 11% slope from beginning to end, and it has like probably a 60-foot drop off at the end as well, so it's intimidating, that's for sure. Groka Tower, good morning, November Tango Echo, request taxi Ibai, 1 POB. I'm sorry, I have my volume down. Please say again for November Tango Echo.
November Tango Echo, copy taxi for Ibai. Clear the taxi for 17 left and about track lineup. QNH 1019.
1019, clear to backtrack and line up 17 left, November Tango Echo. Right, clear left and right. We'll do our overspeed governor check as we pull out onto the runway. There should be 2070 plus or minus 50. Let go of the button. Make sure it rises up over that. And it did, so we're good. It's been foggy all morning long, all the way down to the ground, along the mountains. Like I said, it's just 13 minutes flight out there. But they typically have tailwinds, and they've had, well, as you can see ahead of me, clouds just all the way down to the mountaintops. So it's really just cleared out just in the past 15-20 minutes. They say there's no wind now. There was this morning, tailwinds, and I only can land with a 5-knot tailwind into this location. So it doesn't give me much room for margin, that's for sure. Our fuel caps and selectors are good. Our TAWs will just leave. Actually, we'll just inhibit it right now because we're going to be hand flying all the way out there because it's just so short. I've already got all my switches and instruments set up. I've got my VREF and it's 57 and 67 if I had to come back in for any reason. Our flaps are set at 20, indicated and verified at 20 on both. Our trims are set if we're not 50 knots by our taxi, we'll abort, full reverse, heavy braking, cut off, pull off, and shut off if we're going off after takeoff. Pitch for 85 knots, consider EPL, consider feather. 80 full flaps, cut off, pull off, and shut off. Emergencies, masters, crack my door, and call tower. November Tango Echo ready for departure.
Tango Echo, right hand clear for takeoff.
Right hand clear for takeoff, November Tango Echo. Right, checklist complete. Ignition condition, flaps 20, fuel and harnesses. And 1390 for 1440 on the torque. Alright, airspeed is alive. There's 40 and 50 continuing. And there's rotation. As I rotate, all I'm doing is just pulling to a specific pitch and then just letting the aircraft fly off on its own. I'm not like actually trying to make it fly. You just pull it and let it sit there until it gets enough speed and then it takes off on its own. So we're just heading up to 8,000 feet at the most. I've got clouds all along the ridge. So the ridge is right around 7,000, but I've got one gap right there in the Caw gap. So my plan is to head for that and just pop on through there. Right over 85, we'll go 10 degrees of flaps. And ITT is 720 for our climb.
Tango Echo, Alpha Tango, Royal will go.
Groka Tower, November Tango Echo. Departed time 06, tracking initially for the Caw, then 240 on climb out above 8,000. Estimating Ibai 18, copy Alpha Tango Romeo.
Tango Echo, Go contact correction Mosby, 6598, 6538, VHF 1201.
6598, 6538, 120.1, and the call code, November Tango Echo. Alright, so he gave me 3 frequencies, and the first 2 were just HF radio. Typically they give us our VHF first, but he gave me the HF radio first, 6598 or 6538. If those don't work, then I can switch over to 120.1. Alright, so looking out here, I'm at 7,000 nearly. It's just kind of like pretty scattered right through this gap, and then it's kind of just broken all along the range. We should have no issues getting through, and I'm seeing nice and clear on the other side. So I'm choosing to continue on this one. Also bring our torque back to 1250 now that we're at 7,000. That's the highest I'll go for right here until we get through. All right, confirm our TAWS is turned off, so we don't have our GPS yelling at us. And I quickly look at the winds, where they're coming from. They're kind of coming from the side, just to see if I'm going to have any downdrafts or updrafts as I cross this ridge. They're coming from this way, so I really probably shouldn't have anything, just because they're going along the ridge. Potentially, oh no, yeah, more or less now it's 3 knots, so it's pretty much absolutely nothing. Oh, there's still some bumps though. Okay, so I've only got 20 miles left to go. And I can go basically around this mountain, or I can go around that mountain down
500.
there. Looks like it's a lot clearer out this way, so I don't have to go quite as far out. So I'm planning to head out this way. This is Mount Ilambari right here. On the other side of it's like a sheer just cliff. It's absolutely beautiful. Moresby 6598, November Tango Echo, transfer. Morning, November Tango Echo. Through the call, not above 8,000, estimating I-by time 16.
November Tango Echo, not above 8,000, air QNH 1009, I confirm estimating I-by at 0116.
Confirm 0116, 1009 or QNH November Tango Echo.
November Tango Echo.
All right, let's just throw our autopilot on just for a quick second so I can pull out the strip chart. All right, so the length is 454 meters long here at I-by. It's 11% slope, pretty much starting from touchdown zone all the way up. It says 9% slope, but when you're out there walking it, it looks pretty much identical almost all the way up. So, and then at the end of it, it has like a big drop off that goes down to a road underneath of it. So our touchdown zone is 6340. So what I'm going to do, because it just goes over top of a huge valley, so there's really nothing to let you know how high you are. It looks like you're way higher than you should be. I'm going to put my minimums here at 6840. And what that's going to do is it's going to say minimums as I'm at that altitude. And I know that that's 500 feet above my touchdown zone, and I don't want to go down any further than that. Because I know myself, I typically will want to go low on the approach, and then when I'm turning final, now too low by 100 feet or 200 feet. So I can do 5 knots of tailwind coming into I-by as well. So my pattern altitude, we're basically just going to do 7,300 feet. Looks like I have 4 knots coming off my nose, so there's a good chance I might have some small downdrafts, but probably it'll just come out as just some bumps as I cross over this ridge right here. It looks like it's actually pretty clear and nice out there, so I'm happy to see that. Our fuel turned off for a second. Here's a few little bumps. Now we're at 6 to 8 knots. This mountain right here, Ilambari, as we go by it, I'll show you how much of just a sheer drop it is. It's absolutely incredible. I don't think it's very good for climbing though, because I think it's a lot of like just like shell kind of stuff. It just kind of peels off. You can kind of see all the lines and stuff. anyways, yeah, it's really awesome. Then it goes all the way down that way for another 10 miles or so almost. My runway direction is landing on runway 23. I hit OBS. Runway 230. I'll put a nice little magenta little boxes. It gives me an idea because it's really hard to see this one. I'm at 7,800 feet right now. I've got a cloud layer right at 7,800, so I'm not even seeing the runway at all right now. I just know it's over there by those little white roofs, I think. All right, 8 miles out. Got 11 knots of wind. Quartering headwind. I've got rain up in the valley just behind it with clouds behind it. Not looking super hopeful. Although it looks clear though, so that's nice. All stations by 120.1 November Tango Echo, 7 miles to the east, 7,300. It'll be circuit at time 16. All right, our fuel selectors are good. Our TOS is turned off. Our VREF be the same, but let's just verify. We're at 6,100. So, yep, 67. Do our lights. Our inlet, we do need to go around. It's power up, 20 degrees of flaps, pitch for 73 knots, left-hand turn out. Right, there's the runway in that dark spot. So that's good. There's no rain right around it. Winds are calming down, but now they're going this way instead of this way. And that's pretty typical for this area. Moresby 65908, November Tango Echo in the circuit I-by, report after landing.
November Tango Echo.
All right, so I'm actually almost at my 500 feet right now, just because the clouds I had to go underneath, so let me just pop back up so I have more of a standard approach. Keeps things simple. Prop and harness. We'll do our prop now. All right, so a minute ago I had 5 knots this way. Now I've got 9 knots this way. So that's what makes this one difficult. We have maybe 2 or 3 airstrips that we go to that are very difficult. Not necessarily because of the hill or because of whatever else. It's because of the winds that really make it difficult to get in here safely. When you have a tailwind and you're landing on a hill, it's just pushing you in even faster, and you have to make your basically match the slope and flare even quicker, and it just decreases safety by a pretty big margin when you have tailwinds. Right, prop and harness done. Do 10 degrees of flaps. Fly overhead so we can take a look at, we're getting sprinkles too. That's not good. I won't be able to land if I have sprinkles. Even though it's sprinkles. On slope runways, you don't want any rain on your windshield to mess up with your depth perception. All right, I've got 7 knots. Tailwind, the windsock is blowing at least 5 knots. We'll give it a go and be prepared to do a go-around and potentially head back to Goroka, unfortunately. All right, well, let's hold my altitude for a second. It's showing 8 knots. Not great. All right, 20 degrees of flaps. My altitude for a second. Like I said, we're turning final at 6840. At that hill over there. Now we are parallel with the runway. My power back in because I'm nearly at my 500 feet. See what I mean? It's easy to descend when you don't, when the mountains and everything are so much lower than you. When the airstrip's high up, it kind of messes with your depth perception and how high you need to be. Right, we want 67, we want 77 on base. There's the hill, turning base.
Minimums.
Oh, there's my minimum. See, that's why I have it set up. I've got 9 knots on the nose right now. Not looking very hopeful. All right, full flaps, checklist complete. We're right at 6840, turning final. Going to 67 knots. Winds are already bouncing around. Knots tailwind. To get the sprinkles. 4 knots tailwind. Five knots, 6 knots going around. All right, we'll try one more time, and then we'll go back. I'm back up to 6840. That's why, guys, it's good to practice your go-arounds, because you don't always know when you're going to have to do one. Even if you are going into just big paved runways that are 5,000 feet long, it's still good to have at least one a month practice. All right, there's 6840. Reduce our torque so we don't fly on by it too much. Let's go ahead and slow back on down. Try to get back to 77 so I'm not struggling to get my speed under control on final.
Estimating about 2-3.
All right, leave done. Prop and harness is done. We'll do flaps and we'll do SAR in a minute. All right. Pitch for speed and power per altitude. Alright, full flaps. Checklist is complete. There's 77.
And code 0303, Alpha, no uniform.
At 67 knots. 2 knots of tailwind. This will be a little bit smoother. Three knots of tailwind. There's 4. Five. 4. Okay, we're committed.
$500.
All right. And look at my windshield. A little bit muddy out here this morning. Let me get my breath now. Now that my adrenaline's pumping and I'm now sliding sideways as I come into the parking bay. They must have had a lot of rain out here last night or this morning, probably this morning. Anyways, this is iBuy. Yeah, very exciting, even for me. Oh shoot, it's really soft out here. All right, yeah, so this is very exciting. My adrenaline pumping now, just because I was focusing so much. Anyways, guys, yeah, thank you so much for joining along on this. If you did enjoy that, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below what you guys think, if you guys would do this or not, or if you think I'm stupid and crazy doing this. Anyways, thanks again, and have a great day. All right, shut down, turn everything off. Moresby 6598, November Tango Echo, on the ground, iBuy, cancel SAR.
Tango Echo, I'm back, touch terminated.
November Tango Echo. All right, thanks again, have a great one.